Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Couchside Sports. It's episode number 6. As always, I am your host, Matt Parnell, joined alongside by my co-host, Lucas Fanslaw. How you doing, Lucas?
I'm doing fantastic. We've had a awesome series of playoff hockey so
Yeah,
far.
it's been as good as it gets, I think, with 4 games done, 2 apiece. We can talk about it. How was your week? Let's get into that first, and then we'll skip into the hockey.
It was a pretty good week. You know, long week at work. Average blue-collar guy over here, just getting through it day by day. Podcast is coming to you guys a bit late this week. Sorry about that. We just had some long work hours.
Yeah, some real-life stuff kicked in.
But either way, we're battling through the week. It's Friday night. We've had a couple drinks. We've had a hoot, and we're ready to talk some sports.
Definitely.
Matt, you had a pretty crazy round of golf last week.
Yeah, I played Saturday and Sunday. Sunday I went down to Bear Mountain in Victoria, which was unbelievable. Note to anybody out there, that wants to play it, bring a couple of dozen balls. It was crazy. I'd lost 6 balls. I'm generally like around like a 12 to a 13 handicap, and I shot a 90. So, wasn't the greatest round of golf, but it was beautiful and fun nonetheless.
Yeah.
So can't complain about that.
Pricey little round.
$170. If you're an island resident, get out there though, because if you're not an island resident, I think it's $249.99 plus a $20 mandatory power cart and then tax.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
They don't let you walk it there.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, it's just too mountainous, I guess. But there was one hole actually. We were talking before the show, but there was one hole that I didn't mention earlier. Number 14. It's a par 3. And it overlooks like all of Victoria, and you can see the ocean. You can see Mount Baker in the back. It was just unbelievable view, and it's only like 120, 130 yard par 3, and it's over a giant ravine, and it's just the green. So the back of the green is a cliff off out down into who the hell knows where. The right side, same thing. The left side's into a hazard. The front is, it's also into a hazard. So it was a crazy, intimidating shot. I did hit the green. 3 putted for bogey.
Oof. What a 180 of emotions there.
That's right. Yeah, it was tough, but no, it was a good round.
You're walking up there feeling like the shit.
Oh, dude.
You walk out of there feeling
Hit a great little
yourself.
gap wedge in there and just 3 putt. I think I stuck it to it wasn't that close. It was like 20 feet, but the greens there were just insane, man. Like if you rolled a putt normally, at one of your local courses, if you rolled a putt like a 1.5 feet, 2 feet past, at Bear Mountain, they were 6-8 feet beyond the hole. So,
Damn.
I mean, I putted fairly well. I think I had 33 putts, but there was a couple 3 putts in there that were like that, where it was like I was, 15 feet, 20 feet away, and I'm putting it 8 feet by, and then I'm missing that putt coming back, tapping in for bogey. So, I mean, it's to be expected. First time out there, right? So,
yeah.
But it was a great course and a fun time.
Totally. That sounds like an awesome weekend for you.
Let's kick into the hockey. We've had 4 games. Like Lucas said, it is Friday, June 13th. Late in the evening here. We'll be posting this on Saturday, so just before Game 5, which is back in Edmonton. What a series so far, Lucas. You want to just kind of give it your general thoughts so far, and then maybe we can kind of go game by game?
This has been, you could say, an emotional series.
Yeah.
You already got the matchups from last year. You already got the storyline. And just the fact it's gone how it's gone, this is everything you could have wanted just as a fan of sports.
Oh, I was talking to my buddy about this actually, and even I mentioned to my dad because he's English. He doesn't watch a whole lot of hockey, but when he does, it's usually in the playoffs. He's a hockey fan.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't follow the Canucks or whatever. He'll throw on the playoffs kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly because soccer season's over at that point. But even he messaged me and he was like, "This is an incredible series."
Yeah.
And I was saying to my buddy, I'm like, I think this possibly could be the best series, the best. I wouldn't say series, but the best Stanley Cup Final I've watched in a long time.
Yeah.
I would say the last best one for me would be 2011. Terrible result. Canucks lost in the finals to the Bruins. But that series was I felt like it was very similar to this series. It's very chippy. There's one team that's clearly the aggressor and pushing, the envelope when it comes to maybe getting away with a little bit more than you think the other team is getting away with.
Yeah.
And that's the Panthers. And we talked about it in the first 3 rounds with the Panthers, the way they play the game, right? So, and then you have the other team, the skill-based team, that wants to beat you with the power play, and that was the Canucks in 2011. I think they had the best power play in the league at that time. It was like 26 or 27%, and back then that was a really high percentage. Like most teams weren't even eclipsing over 20.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays 20 is pretty standard, I would say. Like, but yeah, it's been great. I've loved every bit of it. I've loved watching Darnell Nurse battle, any number of the forwards for the Panthers. Sam Bennett, Reinhart, Kachuk, they've all just been absolute pests. Marchand as well. But yeah, I think it's been a classic.
Yeah.
I would say it's been a classic so far.
Random. The Sedin twins, Daniels got 168, Henrik 199 power play points.
Crazy.
And all of their points were coming from each other.
So 1/5 of Henrik's points, because I think he finished with just over 1,000 points. 1/5 of his points in his career came on the power play.
Damn.
Yeah, they were so fun to watch on the power play, dude. I mean, this Draisaitl McDavid power play is insane, and it's just on another level.
Yeah.
But when the Sedins were like at their peak, like in that 2010, 11, 12 stretch, that power play was like there'd be no look passes and like tips off the side. They would cycle the puck so well. Like it was just the slap pass, right? That was one thing that you didn't see a ton of. And then I think Henrik Sedin kind of like started doing the slap pass more often, and people kind of caught on, and he would slap pass to Daniel Sedin right through the slot, and it would just goal. And now you see it all the time.
Yeah.
But
at
that time it wasn't
new.
that popular. I wouldn't say it was new, but it wasn't like people were doing it on the regular.
Yeah.
But the Sedins used that a lot, and same with playing the puck off the M boards, the intentional wide play. Mm-hmm. The Sedins would do that a lot, and I honestly don't think that was something I saw a lot of prior to 2010 sort of thing, and they were so good at that. Daniel Sedin would usually play down at the side of the net, and then whoever was at the point, you Christian Ehrhoff, Alex Edler for a time, those guys, they'd hit it intentionally wide. It would go off the end boards, come to Daniel. Daniel would look across, find Henrik, boom, goal, or vice versa.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they were a lot of fun to watch. But this McDavid Draisaitl power play is insane.
Yeah.
That being said, I think the story of the series so far, and again, we can get into the games, each game by game, has been the penalty kill of the Panthers.
Totally.
I think the Panthers honestly might feel a bit unlucky to be at 2-2 right now.
You're basing it off of looks. They should have had that the game last night.
And arguably they could have stole game one, which they lost in overtime. They lost that one 4-3. And boom, there you go. There's 4 games. It's a sweep, series over. But, that's why we play the games. And credit to the Oilers. They've been fantastic. I mean, yesterday's game 4, Panthers up 3-0 after 20 minutes. Oilers go and score 3 in the second. And it's just like, holy, we got a game again. And in the third period, the Oilers, they were pressing. Like, that game could have been over. And I think the Panthers were lucky to tie it, force it to overtime. But then in the overtime, I thought the Panthers were just all over them.
Oh, totally.
They were like, all of the play was in the Oilers' end, it felt like.
They dump it out. Literally 5 seconds later, it's back in their zone, and it's in there for a minimum of 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was relentless.
It was like they were on the fucking power play the whole time.
Dude, it really felt like they were pushing they were going to win the game.
Yeah, and I was saying to you before the show, then you got the rush going the other way, and Draisaitl just fucking shovels it across the crease and a lucky bounce in. And
Unreal.
It's like, definitely did not see that coming.
Anticlimactic finish, but
But you were saying like your thoughts on the series, and the series might be 2-2, but like you just said, I feel like Florida deserves to be up 3-1 in this series.
Yeah, me too.
Just because if there's one thing I'd like to see from the Oilers, they're coming back and winning these games, but we haven't seen them build any space.
Yeah, go up 3-0.
Every single game they've been fighting to survive.
Yeah.
And the 2 games last night they sure as hell snuck out. In the first game, you could easily say that they snuck out.
Yeah, I mean, so game 1, the Panthers were up 3-2 going into the third. Oilers tie that one in the third, win it in overtime. Game 2, the Oilers were up 3-2 in the first, but by the time it got to the third, the Panthers were up 4-3.
Yeah.
Panthers win game 2, 5-4 in overtime.
Yeah.
And then you had the 6-1 Panthers win, which was an anomaly in this series so far. And then last game, Panthers up 3-0. Oilers tie it. They take a 1-goal lead in the third. Panthers force overtime and lose. But you're right. The Oilers have only had 2 leads in this series, it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't consider the game 1 overtime win
And not
a
even
lead.
wide leads.
Yeah,
like
they
how
did.
Florida's getting up 3-0. 6-1.
Exactly. They didn't even lead in game 1 once, and they won that game.
Yeah.
So, I think the Oilers are lucky to be where they're at. Now, that being said, Stuart Skinner, I don't think he's going to start tomorrow.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, he got yanked in the first yesterday.
Yeah.
At 3-0. He did face 17 shots in the first, but you got to just like kind of stand your ground and keep your team in it, sort of thing. Calvin Pickard looked good.
I was gonna say I don't think you're gonna kill Skinner for how the series has gone, because he definitely had a couple good decent games.
Yeah.
But big surprises. Shout out to Pickard so far.
Yeah, well, I think he's 6-0 in the playoffs this year or something crazy. Like he's been good. So,
and then like you say, yesterday he gets yanked 3-0 in the first. Pickard steps in.
Yeah.
For the next fucking 40
minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes. 1 goal.
Yeah.
And even then, that was, shout out to the Panthers, crazy goal with 15 seconds left to send it to overtime.
Unreal.
That fucking, the puck just dribbling to that guy, and he just, he had a sharp angle, dude. He was probably looking at a 16th of the net, and he just gets it in there.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that goal was, who had that again? It was Sam Reinhart, right? Yeah, Sam Reinhart got that one.
Yeah.
Kachuk's 14th assist of the playoffs on that goal. He's having a good playoffs, actually. So let's talk about Game 1, and what we can go through Game 2, 3, and 4. Game 1, obviously, Panthers, I just said, went up 2-1 after 1. They're up 3-2 after 2. Oilers tie it in the third. They tied that one with 6.5 minutes remaining, I think. Something like that. Let me just double check. Yeah, so they scored it 6.5 minutes into the third. That was Matthias Ekholm. And then Draisaitl wins it in overtime with 31 seconds left in OT. So, again, a game where I think the Panthers, I mean, they could have won that game. The shots in that game were outrageous, 46-32 for the Oilers. But the Oilers' power play held 1 for 4 in that game. And that was something we talked about beforehand. Their special teams need to kind of equal that 100% mark, and it's not. So it's been a bit of an issue for them. The penalty kill has been about the same as it was in the first 3 rounds, which was not good.
Yeah.
So Game 1, 4-1. Like I said, the shots were heavily favored for Edmonton, but that did include a third period where Edmonton had 14 shots on net, and Florida only had 2.
Damn.
So they were pressing in that one.
That is a heavy period.
Game 2.
That was one of our keys to the series, wasn't it? The Edmonton power or
Penalty kill. Yeah.
Because the power play, you're gonna get points with the fucking first and second lines that they got, but
yeah,
their penalty kill has just been killing them this series.
Yeah, it's not been super great. I'm just looking at the numbers here. So the Panthers were 1 for 2 in Game 1. They were 1 for 4 in Game 2.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 for 6, or was it 1 for 4, 1 for 4, 1 for 2? Yeah, so 2 for 6, and then in Game 3, that was the wild one. The Panthers were 3 for 11.
Ooh. Holy fuck! 100. What was it? 140 penalty minutes.
It was insane. And then last game, the Panthers were 2 for 4. So the penalty kill for Edmonton has not been good. And you're right, that was a key. We did say, like, for me, there was the 3 keys. Stuart Skinner's got to play well.
Yeah.
They got to have the depth scoring, which we haven't seen a ton of in this series.
Yeah.
And they got to get that penalty kill sorted.
Mm.
The penalty kill has been abysmal. The power play hasn't been really that stellar either. Like, looking at it here, their power play has been very bad. 1 for 4 last night. 1 for 6 the game before that, 1 for 6 the game before that, and 1 for 4 the game before that. So their power play has been terrible.
Fuck, that is brutal. How do you feel about Bob this series?
I think he's been okay. I think he's taken himself out of the Conn Smythe race.
You think so?
I think so.
He, surprising how bad he's done?
Well, it's not that he's done bad. I think that, look, last game he made some insane saves.
Yeah.
right? Like that game could have been over before it got to overtime. Like there might have been a possibility there that the Oilers didn't need to try to protect a 1-goal lead in the third. But, he's made some good saves, and then you see that goal in overtime with Draisaitl scoring it, and it was just like...
He posted a 8.57 last night.
Yeah, that's not Bobrovsky numbers. But that's the thing that I'm thinking, too, and sorry to cut you off, but what I was going to say is, one thing that I've thought about is, if Bob is not playing to his absolute best, he was stellar in Game 3 when they won 6-1. But if he's not playing up to his best... Had 3 kind of average performances the first 4 games, maybe consider the last game even a bad one.
Yeah.
If he gets rolling in these last 3 games, the Oilers are hooped, I think.
Oh, totally.
Like, they're struggling to beat the Panthers with Bobrovsky not at the top of his game.
And for a guy of his caliber, you can't just think, oh, he's a bum, he's capping out this series. No, he still has some performances in.
No, he's the type of goalie that it's like if he starts to feel it, he might give up a goal over 2 games kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So
he, over all of his Stanley Cup Finals, the 2 Edmonton series and the Golden Knights the year before, he's posted a 8.88.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it would have been higher.
Me too. What's his goals against average? Does it say?
Over the all finals, 3.29.
Yeah, that's not good. Those aren't good numbers.
No, that's I remember we were talking
to
about
be
Pickard.
fair,
That's Pickard regular season numbers.
That is. To be fair, I would say look at those opponents. Last year's Oilers and the Golden Knights the year before that, both like high-powered teams. But yeah, you would expect better numbers from him. Like he was having an insane playoffs coming into this series. I think he was in a .929 save percentage with like I don't know. He had a couple of shutouts, I think.
In his total of the finals, he has 1 shutout.
Was that against Vegas or Edmonton last year?
That was Game 1 Edmonton last year.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty wild to me.
Yeah, that's surprising. Man.
That is surprising. Yeah, and I like I said, I think he has taken himself out of the Conn Smythe race. Who do you think's got the lead for that right now? If you're looking at, let's say Florida first.
Florida first?
Yeah.
Probably Tkachuk.
Yeah, Tkachuk has been good. The other person I was thinking too is Brad Marchand.
Yeah, that's maybe not a sleeper pick, but that's a really good pick.
Yeah, how many goals does he have in this series? He had 1 in Game 1, I think. Yeah, 1 in Game 1. He had
do you
2
know
in
how,
Game 2.
Do you know how fucking badly that guy probably wants a cup before retirement?
Oh, dude. And I think he's gonna I think he's gonna stay in Florida.
How old is he?
30. I want to say he's like 36.
Okay,
something like that.
So he's got a couple years left.
He's at the point of his career now, though, where it's like he's moved on from Boston. I can see him kind of going the Corey Perry route, where he goes and he plays for a team for 1 year, goes to another team. Maybe a team signs him for 2 years now.
Yeah.
But then when he gets that next contract, it'll just be single year things.
Yeah.
But if he wins a cup this year, I mean, I could see him retiring in 2 years. If he doesn't win a cup, I could see him trying to chase it till he's like 41.
I know the Boston trade was obviously very surprising, trading your captain like that.
Yeah.
But was part of it he was just getting old and expensive?
No, so the thing was I think he wanted to go play for a cup, and Boston was not in a position this year to even be like thinking about a cup.
They only have like 5 pieces on their roster.
Yeah, exactly. And like their goaltending was terrible this year. Swayman was not as good as he should have been. He held out for that contract at the start of the year, and I think that kind of hurt him with training camp and stuff. He never really got into the flow of things. They got McAvoy, who's a beast, and Pasternak, who's really good. But like aside from that, like they don't have that star player. I mean, obviously Pasternak and McAvoy are stars, but like they don't have that third piece that really is going to help them. Like, the Marchand was kind of that guy, and the year before that was Bergeron. But no more Bergeron, he retired. But I think it was more so Marchand wanting to go and play for a cup, and his contract ends at the end of the year, so he becomes an unrestricted free agent. And I don't know if Boston was 100% confident that they wanted to re-sign him.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of in a bit of a different kind of build right now than where I think Marchand wants to be or where they see themselves. They don't really want a 37-year-old winger on their team, even though he is the captain. It's time to make that transition and pass the torch.
Yeah.
So they capitalize. They get, I think they got a first-round pick and something else back for him.
Who got the C?
I'm not sure if they announced it. They might have actually. Let's see. I'll look it up real quick.
And also, too, like the way you worded that, to an extent, were they doing him a solid by sending him to a cup-bound team?
I'm 99% sure he had a no-trade clause, and so I think it was all in his decision where he really wanted to go. But
Gotcha.
I think you're right. I think, that franchise, for the lack of a better term, loves Brad Marchand. Like, he's been there his whole career. He's a Bruin through and through.
Bro, he's from the Chara era.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. He was on that 2011 Cup-winning team that I fucking couldn't stand. But now that he's on the Panthers, I seem to love him. He's like one of my favorite players.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He's just a blast to watch.
the rat.
The rat. But I think they did do him a solid. I think that was part of their plan was like, we're gonna kind of like pay it forward here and send you to a team that can win a cup. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think he will re-sign in Florida. He might not, but I think he's just fit them so well, and I think that if they really want to keep him, I think they'll keep him because I think to me he is like a Panther. You look at who they have there with Bennett and Reinhart. And Kachuk, and now having Marchand there as well, and Ekblad on the back end. Like, they're like a team that people love to hate. But I love them. I think they're a fun team to watch, man. They're old school hockey.
Yeah. No, they're definitely a fun team to watch, and you know exactly what they're going to bring. And they just bring the fucking toughness so hard that no matter how hard you prepare for it, you're fucking getting it.
Yeah, you're getting it regardless.
Oh, totally.
So I've got Marchand he had, let's see. I'm just trying to see how many goals he had in this series so far. He had 1 in game 3, 2 in game. He's got 4 goals in 4 games.
Damn.
So he's killing it right now. And he's got that overtime winner, that one that was in double OT game 2.
His postseason
Yeah.
career stats plus 45.
Insane. What are his goals?
His goals?
Tell me his games played, goals, and assists. He's got it. I'm pretty sure he has insane playoff numbers right at the bottom.
We've got 64 goals, 92 assists.
Wow.
And 156 points.
And how many games played? Probably the first column.
178.
Wow. So he's almost a point per game player in the playoffs throughout his career.
Oh, fuck yeah. 200 penalty minutes. We'll just ignore that. That's the type of guy he is.
Well, it's not too bad. He's averaging a penalty every other game, basically.
Oh, totally.
So that's not terrible. So yeah, game 2 was the overtime winner. We just talked about Marchand scoring that one in OT. That was a game that I feel like it could have gone either way. Shots were 42-46. The Oilers had the majority of them. The power play for the Oilers, again, 16%. It was not good. They're getting killed in the face-off dot too, man. Have you looked at those numbers?
No, but last game I saw the face-offs were very skewed.
Were they?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they actually ended last game. It ended 50-50.
Really?
So, which is interesting. But the first 2 games, the Panthers almost out face-offed them 6-4. So for every 10. The Panthers were winning an extra 2, I guess. So
damn.
Yeah.
I think the graphic I saw was fucking Kachuk's face-off win in percentage.
Oh, has he just been a stud?
I think so.
Should look that up.
Might have to fact check that though.
He's a left winger. Do they have him playing center?
Corey, that game though, real quick, back to game 2. Corey Perry had that goal 18 seconds right before to get it into overtime.
My God, yeah.
That's 2 games where in the last 20 seconds. Oh, looks like we're playing more hockey, boys.
Yeah, I think that was I think I heard a stat that was the latest tying goal to force an overtime or something like that in the Stanley Cup Final.
Really?
And what did they do last game?
I think it was 15 seconds.
So
they broke
so
it
they
again.
eclipsed that. It's crazy.
Oh.
What a series, man. This series has been unbelievable. Yeah, you want to talk about last night since it's kind of fresh in the mind? We kind of recap the other games. I don't think we really need to talk about much about the 6-1 stomping there in game number 3.
Yeah, let me give you a little peep into my life.
Let's do it.
We got the game on. It's the first period. I'm making some dinner. My dad walks in. It's 3-0. he starts talking some crazy shit. Oh, that series is over. Like, damn, they're not even trying.
I thought it was over too.
And we're sitting there watching it. Oh, goal. Oh, okay, 3-1. Oh, goal. Oh, shit, are they doing it? Holy fuck, they fucking tied it. That literal chronological order.
What did he say when they won it? Did he watch the rest of the game with you?
No, he went to bed, but I stayed up and watched it, and that was definitely worth fucking staying up for, man. That was a game.
That was a great game.
I saw some stat, and that is the first time in playoff history that a team has gone down 3-0 in the first period and come back to win it.
Yeah, it was like 1 for, what was it? It was like 1 for 82 or something like that. Like,
Yeah, something crazy like that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, if any team was going to do it, it's going to be the Oilers. What are your kind of thoughts moving forward? Well, actually, let's keep talking about game 4. What about the reffing? Like, so I've seen a lot of things, people online bitching and complaining about the reffing. The Panthers are getting away with everything, yada yada yada. The big one was, I think, I can't remember who it was, but it was a hit on Bouchard. Might have been Bennett on Bouchard.
Is that where his head went into the boards?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the glass?
Yeah, and there was no call on the play.
That's definitely an arguable call, but I will say one thing that I do like is that in playoff hockey they let them play more.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a bit more, it looks a bit more one-sided than it is because they're letting both teams play more. It's just the Panthers are always going to be the team that's doing more playing than the other.
The Panthers play that game.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's not really in the Oilers' repertoire. I mean, they can do it. They got Perry, they got Nurse, they got Evander Kane. But it's not like, you got Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, and Reinhart on the other side where it's like it's their better players. Like, arguably maybe their 3 best forwards besides Barkov. Whereas on the other side, the best players are McDavid and Draisaitl, and they're not really going to get involved in that.
Yeah.
Not that much. Like they'll, maybe Draisaitl a bit more, but they know that they need to be on the ice. They can't be taking penalties. Whereas it almost seems like the Florida Panthers don't give a shit. Tkachuk doesn't give a fuck if he gets a fucking penalty, which is hilarious.
Yeah. No, it's definitely you can tell what their type of game is. But the reffing, I just think that they're letting them play hockey more.
Yeah.
Because, like I was saying, it's the playoffs. They're going to let them play, and it just seems more one-sided because of their style of play. And obviously, each side, you can argue the odd call here and there, but end of the day, I think the refs are just letting them play. You saw the other night, they sure weren't afraid to hand out penalties.
No,
140
exactly.
penalty minutes.
And actually, the over/under on the fights, you said it at 3.5, and I said we wouldn't get 1. And I think we had 5 there, but I think only technically one of them was. We did clarify. Did they have to get
5?
It had to be 5, right?
Yeah.
We should look that up. Actually, that was the 6-1 game, right?
Yeah, totally.
Excuse me.
Watch that one little emotional moment win me the over.
That was hilarious, dude. They were going at it there.
Oh, totally.
I've never seen a line brawl in the Stanley Cup Final, and you don't see those often at all anymore.
No.
And to see it there.
At that point, 10 minutes left in the third. It's 6-1.
Oilers trying to send a message like, "Hey, you guys aren't gonna fucking push us around."
And the coach after the game, he was talking, and he said something along the lines of, he was like, it was a rough night. The guys were just making some investments for the next game.
So I got it here. It was only technically one fight. Darnell Nurse and Gadjevic both got 5 for fighting. Everyone else got 2 and 10. So 2 for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct.
Damn.
So the refs were just done with it. Like, get off the fucking ice. We don't want you here anymore.
Did you see the fucking video of the Oilers bench, like, for the last 5 minutes of the game?
No.
It's like fucking the 5 guys on the ice.
Yeah.
And then like 5 forwards and 2 defensemen on the bench. Like, it's like half empty.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
How about Wallman this series? You kind of picked him as a dark horse and a bit of a key contributor. He's been good.
He's been getting fucking points, which is crazy because, I think a couple episodes we've brought him up like, solid stay-at-home defenseman.
Yeah.
He's been the fucking opposite this series.
Yeah,
he's obviously been defending well, but he's got himself a couple points and he got a goal.
That's right.
And I think, was it last time we talked about the 20 players to score a goal?
Yeah.
Over the playoffs?
Yeah.
20 players on one team throughout the playoffs. And on Bet365, there is a fucking prop for the 20 players.
I saw that prop.
And I did not bet it because I was like, oh, it's
Who else is
Walman
it
and
gonna
Jeff
be?
Skinner.
Yeah, exactly.
Walman and Jeff Skinner.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they're gonna fucking score a goal in the finals. Lo and behold,
He did it.
He's got a couple apples and a goal, right?
He does. Yeah, I'm just gonna look it up here. Give me a second to pull that up. But it's it was crazy. Seeing how many players have scored for both teams. Actually, I think the Panthers had like 18 as well, or 19 unique forwards or players to score a goal.
Damn.
But yeah, no, it's been wild. But Walman, not only has he chipped in, he's been a bit of a nuisance on the back end. You know, like it seems like the Panthers are kind of going after him a bit, and he's kind of giving it back to them.
Yeah.
Which is good to see. Like, yeah, he's definitely the defenseman that they've been kind of clamoring for a while now.
Yeah. He's a very vital piece to this series.
Yeah,
He's also been getting very physical. He's been keeping up to the Panthers.
big time.
You see him fucking throwing his weight around out there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pushback.
Did you see that? Did you see that fucking hit last night? I think it was Corey Perry went into the corner, and he just got absolutely destroyed from behind.
That might make him want to retire after this year.
Oh, totally.
If he wins a cup this year, I think he's done.
You think so?
I think so. I think he's just chasing that cup.
How
He's
old is he?
40, I think 40, 41. He's getting up there.
Yeah.
He's also been in, I think, 4 or 5 of the last 6 Stanley Cup Finals,
Really?
and he's lost them all.
Damn.
Yeah, he's been on the losing side for every single one.
That's fucking brutal. Where was he before Edmonton?
He was in Tampa Bay, I think. I could look it up.
Gotcha.
I think he was Tampa Bay for a period of time. Let's see here. Corey Perry.
And who did he play with forever again?
Anaheim.
Anaheim.
Yeah, so he was okay, sorry, he was with the Chicago Blackhawks for 16 games, but I don't really count that.
No.
He got traded to Edmonton that year. So he was with Tampa before that, and then he was with the Montreal Canadiens, and then before that the Dallas Stars for 1 year. And yeah, and then after that it was all Anaheim.
Gotcha.
And if I'm not mistaken, he was in the Stanley Cup Final in 1920, 2021, 21-22, 22-23, and then 23-24, something like that. Like, it's been every year, maybe except that Dallas year. I can't remember if Dallas made the finals that season or not. He played 27 games in the playoffs that year. I'd have to look it up, but he was definitely on the Montreal team that was in the Stanley Cup Final. That was the COVID year,
Yeah.
where the Habs went to the finals, and then it was Tampa Bay, Chicago, Edmonton. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So back to Walman real quick. He has 3 points in this finals. He has a goal and 2 assists.
Nice.
So he's been good. He's Bouchard and Ekholm actually. Ekholm has been a huge piece coming back.
Totally.
He's 4 points in 4 games plus 3.
Yeah.
I think he might even lead the team in plus minus. Their plus minus has not been super great. Yeah, he does. He leads the team in plus minus.
Ekholm?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, plus 3 in the 4 games.
Damn. It's a nice surprise.
So what are your thoughts going into Game 5? You got any? You want to talk about what are we going to see? What do the Oilers have to do?
You think Pickard's starting?
I think Calvin Pickard's going to get the start. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to Stuart Skinner, but after what Pickard did, I think he's kind of earned a start at this point. I mean, prior to that, Stuart Skinner laid an egg in the 6-1 loss. Team's down 3-0 early in Game 4.
Yeah.
He gets pulled. Pickard comes in, gives up a goal over
He went
2 periods.
1-22 for his saves.
So that's a ridiculous save rate. So I think for sure. I think Pickard gets the net now. Now, if Pickard goes out and gets, shit canned this next game, they'll go right back to Skinner for the last 2 games.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it. Pickard's basically got to win the cup, or it'll be Stuart Skinner in the net again.
Totally. And you definitely can't blame them for that decision. I know.
No.
I know. There's obviously hate and questions around Skinner, but he's proven to be the number one.
Yeah, and
it's like you said. It's just a question: is Pickard hot enough for 2 more games?
yeah, exactly. And we've seen it with Skinner in the past, where he's gone on stretches where he seems like he's one of the best 10 goalies in the league, and then he'll just like shit the bed for like a week or 2 weeks, and just like even that game that was it yesterday's game? Might have been yesterday's game, game 4 there. The first goal, I think it was, Skinner was just all over the place on the first goal. Like he was like out of his crease, off balance. Like it just did not look natural.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, so I think he kind of has that weird, like, I don't know if it's a mental thing where he just kind of forgets how to play the position correctly.
Yeah.
And he kind of gets a little bit too wild, and it bites him in the ass. He just needs to like kind of stay in his position and like not try to like overplay things. We saw that in the game against Vegas, where Vegas fucking scored that goal at the end of the game, and Pickard was like way out of his crease on the far side of the post in the white paint, and Riley Smith threw one at the net, and it hits Draisaitl and goes in.
Yeah.
And it's like if Stuart Skinner just stays in the net there, it's not a goal, like ever. So he just has that weird kind of trait where all of a sudden he will just kind of forget that he's playing in the NHL. I don't know if he just like goes road hockey goalie mode or something, but
totally. I will say the goal that Pickard let in.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it goes behind the net and he goes out to push it out?
Yeah.
And it gets to the Panthers player who sauced it to Reinhart on the other side, and it knocked it in. He it looked like he fanned on that pass. Like when Pickard went out to throw the puck around the boards, it looked like he fanned on that pass. And it awkwardly went to the Panthers player.
Yeah, that could just be a lack of reps in game.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Maybe just a little nervous.
But no, it honestly just looked like he fanned on the pass. And the whole time he's thinking like 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
I just got to get out of this. I just got to get out of this.
I just need 20 seconds of being a fucking stud.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was wild. I can't believe that game 4 was one of the best Stanley Cup Final games I think I've ever watched, and there's been some good ones, but that one was up there, dude.
Real quick, what's like the hockey schedule now? Every second day?
I think now till the end of the series now it's every other day.
Every other day?
Yeah, let me just double check. So tomorrow night we got a game. No, sorry, there's going to be another 2-day break when they travel back to Florida. So game 6 will be on a Tuesday.
Gotcha.
And then game 7 will be on a Friday. So because of the travel, they're giving them one extra day.
Nice.
So, which kind of sucks because I like watching hockey every other night. But for this series, I don't mind waiting 2 nights to have to watch it again.
Yeah.
It's just been that good.
Yeah.
One stat I did see that I want to mention is I saw McDavid has yet to score a goal in 5-on-5.
Really?
In this series.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
That is pretty mind-boggling. When I saw that, I was like, I actually had to double check it, and it is factual.
Damn.
He does lead the league in points. He's got 32 points in the in the playoffs, which is insane. He's not really been that big of a factor in the finals, though. He's getting on the board.
Ironically, it's been dry this series.
It has, yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah, and last episode we were talking about Dry got shut out last year. Is he going to be able to pull his weight? Has the was it 2 goals in the first game?
Yep.
2 goals in the first game. He's had 2 overtime winners
in the finals.
In this series,
4 in the playoffs.
Yeah, record setting. Draisaitl's really fucking stepped up.
He has.
At least McDavid's still producing on the power play. It's not like he's going completely dry like Dry did last year. But
see what you did there.
But Draisaitl's really fucking stepped up this series, man.
He's been so good, dude. And we kind of talked about it last week when we did the preview for the finals. Was you're never going to shut down both of those guys, McDavid or Draisaitl. And last year they obviously did such a great job of shutting down Draisaitl. He had 3 points in the finals last year with only 3 assists, no goals. And yet this season he's just been a stud, and McDavid is kind of struggling, he's not really struggling if you think about it. But for McDavid's standards, he kind of is. But that's why they have him, man. That's why they have him. Draisaitl's got 32 points in the playoffs as well. So, I mean, I think if the Oilers win the Cup, it's good. I think they have to give it to Draisaitl, the Conn Smythe, because he's got 2 overtime winners in the finals.
Another guy who's really stepped up is Hopkins.
The Nuge. He's had a good playoffs, dude. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's played 20 games this year, 20 playoff games this year. 6 goals, 14 assists, plus 6.
And the crazy thing, too, with him is he had a kind of a bad regular season this year. We talked about it last week. He was kind of one of the keys for me was he needs to keep it rolling because his regular season, I think he had 48 points in 70-something games this year, which was way below his average.
Yeah.
Now, they had him playing a bit of a different role. Like in years past, he's kind of played either a winger with McDavid or Draisaitl, and I think they have him playing primarily as the 3C. But in the playoffs, you've seen him kind of playing up the lineup a bit more.
Gotcha.
And he's been really good on the power play as well. How many power play points does he have in the playoffs? Does it show you? I'd be interested to know about that because he's got to be up there.
Do you see it up there?
Let's see. Yeah, PPG. Or no, PPG plus PPA.
There's some great research for you.
Yeah, power play goals plus power play assists. What does it say? Do you know?
Power play goals
Yeah.
plus power play assists.
I could probably look it up here too.
4 and 4.
4 and 4. So he's got 8 points. 8 of his 20 points have been in the power play. So he's still producing on 5-on-5, which is, great for the Oilers.
Totally.
Their depth has been okay this series. It hasn't been as good as it was in the first 3, and we did talk about how that needed to be better. Or not be better, but that needed to kind of stay the same, right? Like, it was so good in the playoffs this season. And right now, it seems to be a bit of the Draisaitl McDavid show. That being said, though, Podkolzin's chipped in, I think, on a couple points. They've gotten some points from Wallman. Darnell Nurse even has a goal. So it's not been bad, but there's a reason why Florida's got 2 wins and only 2 overtime losses in this series, and that's because they've shut down the Oilers pretty well. All things considered.
What do you think the Panthers have to do to get through these next couple games?
Yeah, you know what, dude? If I'm the Panthers, I'm just playing the same games that I've been playing.
Yeah,
no
adjustments.
It seems weird to say that, but like I don't think they need to adjust anything. I think like we talked about, I think they could be up in this series 3-1.
Yeah.
I think they just got to go play their game, and I think if they can get the Oilers off of their game and don't let the Oilers build into the game, they'll be fine. I think it actually kind of hurt the Panthers last game going up 3-0. I think they took their foot off the gas pedal. Going up 3-0 in the first period especially, you give the Oilers a chance to recover and recuperate in the first intermission, and then you go back out there and the Oilers just, put their foot on the pedal and was like, okay, we got to get back in this game. We got nothing to lose now.
Yeah.
If it's 2-0 going into the second, I think the Panthers are like still in their top gear, and I think the problem is maybe they got a little bit too comfortable. Might have not even been like something they consciously did. It might have just been like a subconscious, thing like, hey, we've got this game in the bag. Like, let's just ride it out.
Yeah.
And that gave the Oilers enough room and time to get going. And once they scored that first goal, I fucking felt it. I got home and I sat down and watched the start of the second. As soon as the Oilers scored, I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Like, I literally
There's
said
life.
that to my wife. Is like, oh, shit. Like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And you could just tell that the Oilers were like, we're not going to just score one goal here. Like, and even if the Oilers got it to 3-2 going into the third, the Oilers at that point, again, I think that they would have had all the momentum, and it wouldn't have surprised me that they won. And they did win yesterday. So what a series. I hope this goes 7. I originally picked it to go 7, and I picked the Panthers. You picked the Oilers in 7.
Yeah.
So right now we're both kind of trending in the right direction.
Totally. It'll be a fucking face-off this series.
It'll be good, yeah. So I'm just looking at like the scoring here in the finals. Draisaitl 7 points, 4 goals, 3 assists in 4 games. Verhaeghe's been good. He's got a goal and 5 assists in 4 games. Then it's McDavid, 0 goals, 6 assists. He's only got 3 points, 5-on-5. He hasn't scored a goal yet in the finals.
Wow.
That's crazy to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
They've been shutting him out.
He's actually a -2
Really?
Yeah.
Holy
That's
fuck.
crazy.
That is.
That is a wild stat there.
Yeah, Draisaitl's really put that first line on his back.
He has, yeah. Then you got Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, both with 5 points. Bennett's got 4 goals. He's a +3. Kachuk's 5 points. You can just see, if you look at the plus-minus stats here, you can literally see how much better the Panthers have been doing on the top end of their lineup.
Yeah.
Like Brad Marchand, +4. That third line, man. Lundell's got 4 points. Marchand's got 4 points. All of them goals. He's got 4 goals in 4 games. He's only got 2 penalty minutes, so he's staying out of the box.
Yeah.
And then Luosterainen's got 3 points. He's got 3 assists. So
Lundell had a pretty clutch goal last night. Was it last night, I think?
Yeah, he's a good player. And when I mentioned last week, remember how I said I think Luosterainen was the Barkov light?
Yeah.
I actually meant Lundell. Lundell's the center on that line. Luosterainen's the winger, but he's a beast, dude. Like, he's in the playoffs this year. He's got 16 points. He's a +16.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
For a third liner. Like, it's crazy. And he's only 23 years old. I don't know how Florida keeps getting away with this shit.
So he's rolling with the Marchand, right?
Yeah, he's the center on the Marchand Luosterainen line. So that's supposedly their third line. I mean,
That's
to
a
me,
fucking second line.
it's a second line anywhere else in the league. Dude.
Yeah, totally. No, I got him on my team in our keeper league. He's definitely a nice piece to have.
Yeah,
I think he was
solid.
like a 4th round pick too.
In our keeper?
No, like in real life.
Real life, he went 12th overall.
Oh, 12.
First round pick, 12th overall.
Gotcha.
Or are you talking Luosterainen?
Luosterainen.
Oh, Luosterainen. That was Lundell. Sorry. Luosterainen was a second round pick, 42nd overall.
Gotcha.
And he's been good too. 16 points in the playoffs, +10.
Yeah, to get that out of a second rounder, you're not complaining.
You're laughing, dude.
How old is he? He's
20. He's 26.
Gotcha.
He's 26. Lundell's
Just came
23.
off his rookie contract.
He probably. I'd have to look. I'd have to actually pull up Puckpedia and look at his contract status. But at 26, he's probably on his 3rd contract.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they would usually. I mean, I'd have to see what year he entered the league. If I could look at that. So he entered the league in 21-22. So yeah, this would be his 2nd contract.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's into his 2nd contract now. Yeah, he's been good. Florida is just, to me, they're so deep. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night's game because I do think that this series is like razor thin.
Mm.
It can go either way right now.
Yeah.
I think if Florida plays their game, and we talked about it last week, is if they can just stick to their game and play their game, they're going to win this series.
Yeah.
It just, to me, it looks like that.
Could you argue that the 2 best front offices in our respective sports, Howie Roseman, Philadelphia Eagles, and then front office of
Florida. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
dude. I think Florida's done a phenomenal job. I mean,
who's their GM?
They were basement. I think it's can't remember. I think Bill Zito is the owner. Let me look.
What, they were a basement team?
They were a basement team for years, dude. They were like they were basically like a laughing stock of the league.
Like back when like Luongo played there for a year?
Yeah, exactly. Like kind of just around when like Bobrovsky signed that contract.
Gotcha.
So like not that long ago, but they've turned obviously into a powerhouse.
Yeah. 3 years in a row to the Cup.
Yeah, it is Bill Zito. Okay, so yeah, it's Bill Zito who's the president and GM, and he's been the GM since 2020. So right when they started to turn things around.
Damn.
Yeah, he's been crazy good, dude, and just like their drafting is so good. The trades that they make are good. I love the way that they've set the team up too, like just like the makeup of the team. Like they're a team that you don't want to play.
Yeah.
Like I think if this series was Toronto Edmonton,
mm-hmm.
even if it was like an all Canadian final, I still think it wouldn't have been as good as what we're getting right now.
No,
not even close.
No. Who would you have picked in that series?
If it was Edmonton, Toronto,
yeah,
I think Oilers would have won for sure.
Yeah,
I think for sure. I mean,
in 5 or 6,
probably 6. Yeah, 5 or 6. You're right though. It would have been something like that. I don't think it would have been a sweep, but the Leafs just haven't shown me that they're consistent enough in the playoffs. Oh, I did see a report that came out today. Speaking of the Leafs, Marner has confirmed, Mitch Marner has confirmed that he will not be back with the Leafs next season.
Oh.
So he will be playing for a different team, and it sounds like Carolina is going to make him a big contract offer.
Really?
And we talked about that a few weeks ago. It does
replace that Rantanen?
Yeah. I mean, Rantanen was only there for, 6 weeks or something, but they need that
But
superstar.
they never really filled his hole, did they?
No, they didn't. They got Stankoven back from Dallas, but he's young. Like, I think Stankoven's only 21, 22. Like, he's a young kid. He's good. He's really good. But he's not an established. Like a Mitch Marner is a 100-point guy. There's only a handful of those in the league. If they go and add Mitch Marner, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if he necessarily fits the Rod Brind'Amour style. Maybe he does. I don't know. He's only ever played for the Leafs. But if they add him, I feel like they kind of maybe are going to make that next step. Maybe I could see them making the finals next year if they add Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
In fact, that might be a sneaky Stanley Cup prediction. When this Stanley Cup ends before free agency starts, putting some money on who do you think's going to win the Cup next year? And then if they sign Marner, because if they sign Marner, their odds are going to go. The payout's going to go down.
Yeah.
You got to get that. You got to get that in beforehand.
Damn.
But he could go anywhere, right?
Are there any other teams talking about
It sounded like Vegas was really close to making a trade for Marner at the deadline this year, and it just didn't go through.
Okay.
So I mean, maybe Vegas.
That would have been fucking crazy if Vegas got Marner. It's like how is Florida and Vegas doing all of this shit?
Yeah, exactly. What rules are they breaking?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so for tomorrow night, what do you got? You got a prediction? Or do you want to maybe pull up? Let's look at some Bet365 if you want to fire that up. We can do a little parlay action. I had a nasty parlay that I almost put down yesterday. It wouldn't have paid out, but man, it was close. Did I tell you about it?
No, you didn't.
Okay, so it was game to go to overtime, which it didn't end up. It did go to overtime, which would have been crazy. Game go to overtime. I took the over, which I think was 6.5 goals or something like that. And then I took McDavid to get 2 points, Draisaitl to get 2 points, and McDavid to score a goal. So the only thing I missed on that was McDavid scoring a goal.
Oh, the best guy fucked
and
you.
I didn't actually put the bet down. I set it all up, and then I forgot about it, and I came back to it later when the game started, and I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot to put that bet down. But it was $10 into $350.
That is absolutely brutal.
I hit a nasty one earlier this season. It was a 7-legger, and I won $1,200.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually with the Oilers as well. I picked the Oilers. It was Oilers to win, McDavid 2 points, Nuge 2 points, Draisaitl 2 points, Nugent Hopkins to score a goal, and I think Bouchard to have 3 shots on net or something like that. It was a mega parlay, and
nice.
I put $10 or $15 down on it, and it paid out $1,100.
That's wild.
And I hit it by the second period.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, it was.
Holy fuck!
I was watching.
So you got to watch the rest of the game happy,
just in peace. Yeah, I actually just erupted, and my wife came downstairs what's going on? I was like, I just fucking won $1,200. I can't believe it. This is great. I can bet for the rest of the year. I'm good.
Yeah, totally. And I ain't cashing it out.
That's right.
No, I had a pretty good night last night too. I placed down 5 little bets and went 4 for 5.
Nice.
Yeah, walked away with $49, and that's off of $1 and $2 bets.
Nice.
Totally. So that's definitely
great.
A nice little walk away. Fun to fund the account for a week or two. But for tomorrow night, over 6.5, they've got it plus 100. I feel like that's an obvious take, though. Over.
That is a take.
Yeah,
I'm taking the over every day in this series, dude.
We're in agreement. Take the over. And
it's going to be a 4-3 game again, or 5-2, or something like that. 5-4.
Totally. Bro, the fact it's fucking plus is crazy.
Who's the favorite? Who's the minus?
Oilers.
What
125.
And what are the Panthers?
Plus 105.
So they're pretty. It's pretty close to a pick 'em.
Yeah. If
I wouldn't pick a winner tomorrow. If I'm making a parlay, I wouldn't pick a winner.
You wouldn't?
No, just because I feel like that game could go either way. But I would definitely take the over in that game.
Gotcha. Well, I might make a pick that we're not used to seeing on the show.
A little same game parlay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with where the heck are goals? I'm gonna go with Draisaitl to score a goal.
Draisaitl to score a goal.
Yeah, he's been hot lately, man.
What's that paying out?
The over and Draisaitl.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you got there?
Yeah, that's into, is that 32? Yeah, 10 into $32.
So 3.2, nice. Plus 320. Yeah, that's a good pick. I think Draisaitl's a good one. What's take Draisaitl off there for me,
Okay.
and let's just do one more. Let's go McDavid to score a goal,
Okay.
anytime goal, and then let's go to Florida. Can we go to Florida's goal scorers, or actually, let's go to Florida points.
Florida points.
Yeah, points. It should be near the top.
Yeah, here we are.
Okay, what do you got for Bennett points? What's
For
his
Bennett?
Yeah, does it say? Like for
Plus-
let's say 2
plus
points.
700
Plus 700 for what? 2 points?
for 1.
For 1?
2 is
I'm taking Sam Bennett 1 point
okay.
and go back down to goals. This is going to be a crazy one. I'm going to pick another goal scorer.
Okay.
I'm going to take Brad Marchand anytime.
Brad Marchand anytime.
What's that payout? $10.
Okay, so you got over 6.5.
Yeah.
McDavid dry.
Yep.
Sam Bennett 1 point. Marchand to score a goal. $10 into 310.
Let's go. There it is. Those are the kind of parlays I like to play. The a bit ridiculous ones. I'll play like some more like just like basic ones like an over-under and then pick a winner.
Totally.
But I love having like a $5 or a $10 bet down on something like a 5-leg parlay that's like, that's not that outrageous. I mean, you got to pick a couple goal scorers to be right, but I mean, Draisaitl he's good to score a goal. McDavid's
totally.
good to score a goal. Like none of those are ridiculous picks.
My favorites for hockey is shots over unders.
Those are great as well, actually.
Oh, I love those. You just throw like 4 of them together and it's like $2 into 15.
You know what I haven't had luck with is picking goalie saves or the over under on the saves. For whatever reason, every time I do it, it's like a stinker of a game. Like I always usually take the over on saves. Like it'll probably be like Calvin Pickard, like 26.5 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll take the over, and then that game, like the Panthers will win the game, but they'll only have had like 19 shots.
Yeah.
And it's the worst when they go up like early because then they take the foot off the gas, and then they're just not accumulating. They're just dumping it in.
But on the other hand, with these overtime games, you're fucking loving the shots.
That's true.
Just last night, I hit a Marchand on the over, Barkov on the over, Dry on the over, Bouchard on the over. That was 2 into $10.
Damn.
Yeah. Nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah, little bet.
All right, do you want to cut it there?
Yeah, we can do that.
And then
I
we'll
feel like it was a good breakdown. I guess the next time we're podding to everyone out there, it'll be
series will probably be over, or maybe we'll be getting set for Game 7.
Yeah, totally.
It'll be one of the other. We'll try to be back before Game 7, I think, if we can.
Yeah, we can definitely do one before, one after.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So we'll do that, and then let's look at the schedule real quick before we let the folks go here. I think we did look at it, and it said it was it Friday? Yeah, so it's next Friday would be the potential Game 7. So we'll either be setting that up, or we'll be reviewing one of these two teams winning the next 2 games, and the series is over.
Yeah. Hey, we'll try and get a episode Thursday maybe.
I'm down.
Get that out to you guys for the day of.
Get it down for Friday.
Totally. It's been a good chat, people.
All right. Thank you, everybody. That's been another episode of Couchside Sports. This was episode 6. Hit the subscribe on YouTube and the follow on Spotify and share it with your friends. Have a great night.
Let's go, Oilers.